Well, the virus is taking such a tough economic toll. More than 26 million Americans have lost their jobs in the last 5 weeks. But that number is likely much higher than that because people who have not been able to file yet or have not been counted as of now. Let's go to Annette Areola right now, live at home this morning as well, with a look at those challenges, Annette, of getting through to the unemployment department. Good morning.
Daniela, good morning. A very sad and a very desperate situation for so many Californians across the state. They are calling the EDD, not only calling them, but going onto the website, flooding them with applications. But this is the response that they're getting. Take a listen.
Thank you again for calling. We are sorry we're unable to answer your call at this time.
Yet millions of unemployment insurance claims have been submitted online, but there are only a few thousand workers to process these applications. State officials say they have been getting complaints nonstop from people out of work that are tired of listening to those recordings and need a live person to help them answer their questions. Now, our consumer investigative reporter Randy Mack made several calls to the agency's tech support and claim support lines trying to get answers for one of our viewers, but the response was basically the same. Take a listen.
Just automated, even tells you it's going to hang up on you at the end of the message, but it gives you another number to call. And the other number says the exact same thing, verbatim.
Yeah, obviously very frustrating. Now, the EDD is urging people to submit their forms online. But again, this is a problem for those who don't have a computer or internet access. And even if they do, the website, we have been told, has been experiencing massive slowdowns. Now, state officials have added staff and expanded call hours to those EDD unemployment centers. They are now open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. But again, Adrian, Daniela, as we see those numbers of unemployment workers rise, and of course they're going to need many more people to actually answer those calls and process those applications. So the wait lines and the wait times will likely be the same. Yeah. We'll send it back to you guys.
Very frustrating, Annette. Thank you for that. And businesses and workers here and across the country are facing challenges right now of epic proportions. Many of you are asking, how long will it take for the economy to recover?
Johannes Moenius, an economics professor at the University of Redlands, is here to break it down, what this means for you. Johannes, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. We just saw the new numbers. More people, millions more, have filed for unemployment. When do you think we might turn the corner on this crisis financially?
Oh, that is a very good question. So what we are really lacking right now is really good data in order to gauge that. If everyone tells you that they know how quickly that is going to happen, they have a crystal ball that the regular economists don't have. So when we think about how long that's taking, we need to measure it from the time when people can actually go back out and participate in the economy. And then we will see some pent-up demand, like people that were not able to get repairs done, people not replacing their broken cars and so on, go out and get that fixed quickly. But till that goes back to normal, that's going to take a very long time, years.
Well, at that point, when things do go back to normal, as you mentioned, are there specific industries that you think are likely to recover the fastest, and which ones do you think will be the slowest to recover?
Well, the ones that are recovering the slowest are much easier to point at than those who are going to be recovering the fastest. Because the slowest one will be those that you show right here, the restaurants, the travel industry, hospitality. We don't know what the movie theaters will look like and all these things. What's much harder to predict is really right now what our supply chains look like in the manufacturing sector. How much of those will still be intact? How quickly we can adjust the supply chain so that the goods flow as smoothly as they did before the crisis. So I don't see that to happen so quickly.
Professor, what do you expect to happen once the economy actually does finally reopen? Do you think it's going to be like a massive boom like the president has predicted, or is it going to be more layered and kind of more of a slow rise?
There are three aspects that I think we need to take into account. The first then is what we see in Wuhan already. What's happening there is that people do go back to restaurants and things like that, but a much reduced share of people. So the restaurants are not humming there. So we shouldn't expect ours to be humming there either. Second thing is that suppliers will try to immunize their supply chains. So we'll see a lot more automation happen relatively quickly. So that means there will be other displaced workers. And the third thing is that we'll see behavioral changes thanks to the types of strength of the effect that people have seen, and also the things they learned. There will be more online shopping also in the future, and more online learning or work from home, and not so much going to the office. And that has indirect effects on a lot of different industries.
Right. Things so different now will continue to change. Johannes, thank you so much for all your advice. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
I appreciate you having on. All right, let's check in with meteorologist Sean.